multiple discussions and multiple products, failures, new products, improvements, and then we landed on this piece that okay, like we feel that if we really want to scale this to 1 billion users, something like AggLayer makes sense. And this I can tell you with a very high degree of confidence that something like AggLayer will be the end game of crypto.
As you mentioned that you should always build keeping the future in mind, right?
Yeah.
And earlier there was this thesis that you would always propagate that there was a phase in Polygon where there was divergence and now you're converging,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Is that how AggLayer also came into the picture and
Yes.
collaborating with everyone? You see you and Near are building together, right? For ZK Wasm.
Yep.
You've recently announced a partnership with Starkware as well, right?
Yep.
You see Aster becoming the first chain joining the AggLayer. So what is the entire vision behind that?
Yeah, so basically we knew that back in 2021, one thing was clear, that we stayed relevant in 2021 because that time, actually if you see 2021 was everyone thought that the enterprise adoption is going to come. Big brands are going to come into crypto, and then this will become really big. So we were focused on that relevance on the Polygon POS chain, for example. But we also knew that in the long run, if we want Polygon to be a project which stands the test of time, lives on for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, then we need to be looking where the future is going. And we were very clear after talking to a lot of researchers also and internal discussions that ZK looks to be the end game. Eventually, ZK is the thing which will scale this network or this ecosystem to billion plus users. And so that time, but it was not clear what kind of ZK EVM you need to build, who will be able to. If that time it was said that it will take probably 4 years for ZK EVM to. We did not collaborate with one team. We actually onboarded 3 teams,
right,
doing 3 different things in ZK, right? Because that time we did not know. We knew that the future is ZK, but we also did not know what exactly will happen in ZK, right? So we had to take multiple bets on ZK, and we had no other, we saw that there is no other way for Polygon to be long-term successful. We have to go all in on ZK. And then multiple teams came along, multiple researchers came along, and then multiple discussions and multiple products, failures, new products, improvements, and then we landed on this piece that okay, we feel that if we really want to scale this to 1 billion users, something like AggLayer makes sense, right? Something like AggLayer. Now, and this I can tell you with a very high degree of confidence that something like AggLayer will be the end game of crypto. Whether it is built by Polygon or somebody else will build, I don't know. But something like this will be the end game, where you have multiple independent chains kind of doing this computation and then having their proofs collaborated in one place.
And the beauty of it is that you support different VMs, right?
Different VMs, you support different. Now somebody can say that somebody can build all of this as a single layer 1, where all of these features are there, and there is they create it as a layer 1. But I feel that the internet or whatever we see today, they have whatever big things we see today, they have because global markets are more or less free markets now, especially in the tech world. So capitalism, the forces of capitalism matter a lot. So the choice, the ability for the user to choose for themselves also matters a lot. When you create a L1, which is one single framework where everybody has to abide by the same framework in one single setup, then it kind of starts becoming a place where a lot of people will say, okay, this doesn't match my requirements. What we have tried to do with AggLayer is that we are providing one small layer of service, and then on top of that, people will do whatever they want to do. Right? They will do their own different kind of VMs, rollups, validiums, data availability, however they want to choose, they can choose. We are providing a small level of service which allows them to have a certain amount of security from Ethereum, mathematical security from Ethereum, not certain amount, actually exact security from Ethereum using ZK proofs. but on top of that, they are free to choose their VM. They are free to choose how many validators they want to have. Single validators, they want to have 50 validators, 1,000 validators, up to them. They want to have what kind of data availability. They want to have local data availability, committee of data availability, or they want to use any Celestia or AggLayer or these kind of data availability chains. They can choose what they want.
Right.
So freedom and sovereignty is a very important part of how we have thought and built. And actually, if you see, AggLayer is in a way the similar version, right? Like now Polygon is, they are not building directly on Polygon, but they are building on different chains where all the value goes, like transaction values and all that sequencer fees goes to them. But then Polygon is still playing a small role in making sure that those transactions are fully trustless and secured by Ethereum and all
Right.
that. So actually, if you see that the same vision has morphed into something different,
Right.
but now it is more, previously it was zero sum, now it is positive sum,
Right.
because of the AggLayer, right? So I would say that AggLayer is such a beautiful design in that sense that you can win while everyone else also winning.
Right. Talking about AggLayer's design, how would you differentiate it from Cosmos's IBC?
So Cosmos IBC is an interoperability protocol, right? Like it's more of a bridging protocol. Here it's a security protocol. IBC doesn't provide security to the individual chains, right?
Right.
So, and the other difference is that in IBC you have crypto economic security across the chains. For example, you have 3 different chains. You have 100 validators, but the other 2 chains have 5 and 10 validators, and you connected with those chains, and you are using the, you allow liquidity to flow through your chains, and your chain, which is like, let's say, has billions of dollars of liquidity for first 2 years, and those 5 validators are working absolutely fine and all that, and then one fine day they see that, okay, we have like $50 million of liquidity, we can actually just make a transaction and then from your chain convert it into let's say, like maliciously mint $50 million of, let's say, stable coin, and then convert that or create the token and convert that into stable coin on your chain, and then take out that money and all that. So in that case, IBC does not save you. But in case of AggLayer, what we are doing is essentially the chains who are actually putting their execution proofs, they have no way to them. So you get not crypto economic security, but mathematical security.
Right.
Also, but now we will, for some of the chains where, let's say, the execution proofs are really hard to do, and you have to create custom provers and all that, then we will allow the chains to connect into the AggLayer via consensus proofs, right? And those consensus proofs will act very similar to IBC, but then the chains which have the full execution provability, they have the freedom, just like in IBC, to choose where they want to allow the connection, right? So then IBC becomes a subset of what we are actually trying to provide.
Right.
But what we are essentially trying to do is, like, AggLayer is more of a, not only a cross-chain, like, kind of like unified liquidity engine, but it is also kind of place which scales Ethereum's trust. Like AggLayer gets the trust from Ethereum, but it scales it infinitely by aggregating the ZK proof.